Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Gent doing a solo cast. I couldn't find the word of a replay I pulled off of SC2replayed.com, I think it is, and it is a gold level game of Siellus versus Empty. These names I always wonder, like, he must have got the game pretty early for the name Empty to not have been taken, because that's kind of a common word, where Siellus is not, because I don't even know how to pronounce that word. But we are seeing Pylon on 9. It's already Pylon on 9. Jeez, I am getting so lost in everything. And an early scout. So it looks like we'll not be seeing a 7 pool or a 10 pool or anything. Usually if you 10, actually you do need to know where they are on a 4-person map, but I don't see a 10 pool or anything happening. And see the Overlord coming out with, yep, no 10 pool. So we are just going to see macro play for the most part. Quite possibly an early expand. On this map, I don't know if they really favor this one or this one. Since the toss is right here on the south position, he is going to know that right now. So he will probably not be wanting to expand here. So up here will be the more valid decision. So there's kind of rocks blocking that ramp. I never really played on this map that much, but this is kind of, I can see that why that's kind of a nuisance. You can't really. Anyways, he's gonna, so he scouting, did the Terran, no, he did not scout. I'm gonna be calling him Terran a lot because they both start with a T. Well, Toss starts with a T. So I'm gonna be messing this up like crazy. We are gonna see the early expand. We do not see spawning pool yet, which is pretty safe because he is not cannon rushing and he is not 2-gating. I can't exactly tell if he's going to be 4-gating yet or not, but if he is, I think with proper spine crawler placement and with enough queens and good micro, I'd say you can hold up at 4-gate pretty well. But we will see what decisions come up. And he will be getting a Zealot to park his ass between this wall, like where you see this probe. I think it's wide enough where you need 2. What's that key to like turn? Yeah, there we go. Can't really tell. We are seeing some people being followed around here. And oh, that sucks. That really sucks. He did lose quite a bit of mining though, just doing that. I don't think it's really that big of a deal seeing the gas coming out. So we're going to see speed fairly, not fairly quick, but I don't know, decently, not super quick, but not too slow, and which is really good because you want speed on this map, especially because it's very big. But he is kind of close right here, really close air, I should say, but the speed will help a lot, as it does all the time. Seeing the drones go in, doing their job correctly. The hatchery still, man, that takes forever to build. How long? 100 seconds. Crazy. We are seeing a gateway. It's starting to look like a 4-gate. I'm not seeing that second gas yet. You usually see the second gas while this is building. But we are seeing a robotics facility on 1 gas. I don't know what he's planning to do with that. He can't really afford immortals. Maybe he can afford 1, but against the Zerg, it's only really good if they're getting lots of roaches. If they're doing an early roach push, which does not have a roach warren, so immortals will not be effective at all. So I'm guessing he's going for really fast Colossus, which I haven't really seen work all that well that much, but you never know. Or he's just going to go for a Observer just to do some safe scouting, or quite possibly a Warp Prism, which is highly unlikely because those hardly ever exist in this game. Well, they exist, but you hardly ever see them in this game. And we do not have that second gas op, so I would say Warp Prism, since it's very cheap. And against Zerg, it's very good if you get lots and lots of sentries. That's really what you want to do against Zerg. Sentries help a lot. Getting that second gas up finally. What is he getting? The Observer. He's going the Observer just for safe scouting. It's not a bad idea, but he is getting roaches. A roach warren, at least. I don't know if he actually plans on using that. I'd assume so. But what he needs to do is connect to this creep. That's very essential. If you play Zerg, always make sure you're connecting your creep and spreading creep. It's okay if you skip a couple of larva injects just to get that creep, because it's a huge benefit in defending this especially if you're getting roaches, because roaches are very slow. Even if you get this speed, roach speed, they're decently slow off of creep, so they can kind of be a little shitty if you're not spreading that creep. And getting immortals out, he did see that then. Wrong. No, he did not see that. So he's just blindly getting immortals, which I don't agree with, but he's making lots of buildings on one base. That's what he's doing. You can't fully support 4 gates, a robotics facility, and upgrades on one base, but you know, you can try. You know, that's good. And he does not have that many units, so we will see how this works out. This is not looking good for the Terran player at all. He's not hugely behind on the food count, but he's decently, and he's going to scout, but he's not really doing an effective job. He's not scouting that roach warren at all. And what's he doing? Ooh. Oh, there he goes. Now he's going to... There he goes. So he's going to be like, yes, I blindly made immortals, and it's going to work. Maybe. That is a lot of roaches. He's making another immortal right now. And as you can see, he made these 2 extra warp gates, which he hasn't even done any warpins at all, because he is so broke. He can't afford any warpins from these. So these are going to be completely useless until he gets an expansion and saturates it a little bit to do anything. But it doesn't really matter what, because he's actually keeping his money down, actually scrolling everywhere with this sensitive mouse. But Zerg's having a tough time macroing right now. And if you're having a tough time macroing, just, you know, if you have a ton of minerals that's Terran, you can put down a ton of racks and just pump out Marines. As Zerg, you can just expand like crazy. You could expand here and here and here, because those hatcheries do give that larva, which lets you resupply your army pretty quickly, and you can saturate them and be fairly safe. Finally getting that expansion up, which is about 3 minutes late, I'd say. 4 minutes late, something like that. You usually see early expands from Protoss against Zerg at around the 6:30 to 6:30 minutes. At 6 minute and 30-second mark to the 7 minute mark is around there. And he only has 1 sentry, so these roaches, even if those are 2 immortals, they can be deadly. But they will not be deadly at all if he just sits in his base like he's doing. But he is spreading creep. Very nice. I like this creep spread. Gives him that little bit of vision. But he doesn't have that much vision. Where are his overlords? Are they just like parked somewhere? Let's find these overlords. We will find... There's 3. Is that all he has? Ooh, 3 more. So he needs to move those overlords across the map, get a lot of vision, and that's one advantage that Zerg has over anything, is all that map control that they can obtain. That one cannon will not be very effective at this point of the game. He could have just used that on, you know, a stalker or something. But getting another mortal out, he's going to get this upgrade, which I don't know why he's getting ground. This Protoss is just like unleashing everything that I've never seen before. It's pretty cool. Seeing lots of roaches just chilling at home, not wanting to do anything. Seeing a little... Is that fire? What is that? We're seeing fire just chilling there. That is pretty cool. And this observer, he's been in the same spot the whole game. I would say don't get... Ooh. Poor little Zergling, he's about to die. But I would say don't get that early robotics facility blindly to get an observer if you're not going to do anything with it. And if we look at his cam, which we could do for a second, let's do that for a second. You can tell, oh, we're not on his cam. He's not really doing anything with that observer, as you can see. He's not really doing anything. I don't mean to make fun. I'm just stating, not getting that gas up, which it's really good to get that gas usually. Mainly for the sentries, because sentries are very good against Zerg. Zerg don't mainly want to get this round. That's not like their main goal is to get this round, but if they get that round, it's very deadly, and those sentries help prevent that really good. And with those immortals and those stalkers being ranged and the sentries, they do a little bit of damage. That will be really deadly against the Zerg. But he is getting a Spire right now. Well, he was getting it 70 seconds ago, and a Hydralisk Den, and another Queen. So he is in a pretty big lead, getting this 2 gas up finally, getting a robotics bay. He's going tech crazy right now. I'm pretty sure he just got the Twilight Council for the extended upgrades right now. As you can see, he can now get level 2, which is what every Protoss in the world does, of course. unless you just want to be on 1-1 the whole game. 13 Hydralisks coming out. This will be very deadly if he gets that range upgrade. He is. And that's going to be very deadly against this army. These Immortals will not do anything against us. But he does have a decent amount of Zealots, but not enough Sentries. You need to get those Sentries up, or just get Colossi with range. If he gets those Colossi out, that will be very deadly as well against anything that Zerg really have except for Corruptors, because they cannot shoot air. And he does have his Spire up, and I don't see him getting any... There it is. I don't see him getting anything with his Spire right now. I guess he's just drone up. Let's look at the drone count. 39 to 37. So even though he's on empty is on 3 bases, he is still not that far ahead of Siellus. I pronounce the name different every time, but he's not that far ahead. Only 2 drones. Now like 4 drones right now. But you could be in a huge lead, and 5 drones. But the food count is a huge difference, 149 to 109, and this army is looking very deadly. As you can see, there's no Zerglings. This alone will just dominate, and he is getting 1 Mutalisk. That single Mutalisk will single-handedly just destroy all. And we are getting a Colossi out. If you can get that with the upgrade, that's very good. And Blink. That's a lot of micro you have to pull off to do Blink. Keeping your Colossi in back, because they can walk over units, and if you just do an attack move, the Colossi will most likely just run in front and get themselves killed. So you want to keep those Colossi back. You want to use force fields as much as you can, and with Blink, you want to blink as much as you can. So that's lots of micro you have to really do as a Protoss player. Whereas Zerg probably has the best just attack move and hope you win type thing. Mutalisk can be kind of micro crazy if you're scouting, or if you want to just like keep them alive against Thors, because Thors are very strong against lots of things. Seeing another Colossi. Did the first Colossi come out? It did. Lots of Stalkers. So we are seeing that, just that common Colossi Stalker ball right now with a couple of Mortals. Not bad. Getting those Zealots out in front, that's very smart. Sometimes people leave them in the middle and they don't really do anything. Is he queuing up those... Oh, he has another one. Okay. Whew. Man, that scared me for a second. He is scouting this area for the fire. He's trying to find his friendly fire over here, because I have no idea what that is. Maybe it's a plant. This world has plenty of crazy things like these. So we can see lots of crazy things going on. 3 cannons with a pylon protecting them. Very smart play. We see the Mutalisks coming out. They're going to successfully kill lots of probes. Whoop. And lots of pylons. Ooh, wow. One thing about being supply blocked, you don't want to overdo it. If you're, oh man, my voice is cracking. If you're supply blocked once, you don't need to build all these pylons, because his food's gonna go crazy. He cannot do anything, but his macro is not the best, as you can see, so it's not gonna matter all that much. He is getting level 2 weapons, which is good. I think he is ahead of his opponent on upgrade. Oh, 1-1. Shows how much I've been paying attention in this game. We have 10 Corruptors. You did see the Colossi coming out, which if he was a pro player, this guy, he would have just brought the Stalkers up, so he wouldn't have to reveal those Colossi. But seeing the Robotics Bay, which I think he did he? Yeah, he would have assumed there's Colossi anyway. So the Corruptors will be very good, and this is where Blink comes in handy really well, because the Corruptors do bunch up a lot, so you can blink ahead and kind of snipe off a few while you run your Colossi back and run away. They do have the range, that's going to be very deadly. And what... oh, I don't know where that observer went. It went somewhere. Maybe they killed it. And we do see a battle going out. Nice force fields. He's actually using his force fields. I am proud of him. And this is not looking good for Siellus. He is running his Colossi back away from the Corruptors. Very smart. And they do have range. And where are the Corruptors? He needs the Corruptors right now to come in and pick off these Colossi. Those Colossi are the ones ripping this army up. And he does have that observer following the army, so he knows where it is at all times. And that actually looked really good for Siellus. His micro is much better than his macro. Yeah, much better than his macro. As you can tell, he was not doing anything that time. And he's going to suicide a lot of Corruptors. Some might say that's a good trade for 1 Corruptor per Colossi, but Corruptors are very expensive, and you don't really want to sacrifice them. But like I was saying earlier, he is just grabbing lots of hatcheries, because he has 2,000 minerals. That's a lot of money. And I don't agree with this. That if you're gonna build cannons are cool, I guess, but don't put the pylon in front. That won't be really effective. And we see more zealots. Did he not have gas? He does not have any gas. He needs to start getting more gas from this. He needs to expand again because this is pretty much mined out. So he is pretty much on one base again. And with all this, that's not good. And we do see another push coming out. With more corruptors coming out, more colossi, an expansion right when I was talking about that. And Siellus in a bad position right now. He just gets eaten up right here. Very smartly. I don't know if he did this on purpose, but he did put those hydras in the back because the hydras do have longer range, I believe. Yeah, I'm pretty sure everyone knew that. But they do have longer range than the roaches. So they can sit in back and kind of fire away. And we do see 77 food count for Siellus, 154 for empty. So this is looking very bad for Siellus. It's not even Siellus, it's Siellus. And Siellus left the game. He didn't even GG. That was a good game though. Siellus. That was a very good game. So you should have said GG, but it doesn't really matter. But the only problems I see there was Protoss not really expanding as much as he could have, and all that tech that he chose to do at the beginning of the game with the one facility, the forge, and the 4 gates, he cannot support that on one base. Even if you're Idra, you can't. Because Idra plays Zerg. And Zerg cannot support 4 gates on one base. And this was an epic game. With queens, with full energy. Pretty cool. So this is Bronze League Gaming. I am Gent doing a solo cast, as you might imagine. And you can go to, or not go to, but you can send us games to bronzeleagueperspective@hotmail.com to send in any replay or any content of anything, and we will cast it. It will be really cool if you did that, even if it's not Starcraft. And I'm kind of going slow on my words, so I will peace out. See ya later. Oh, wrong one.